anytime you encounter contradictory statements about someone's past, you should pay attention. Most people don't pay attention to this, and that's why they encounter surprises, often unpleasant surprises in the future. Anyone that has contradictory statements about their past is an individual that either has something to hide or is an individual that's a target. Let me explain. If you used to be the target of collective violence, or say of collective witchcraft, but you survived and overcame it, and now not only you survived and overcame it, you also have a dominant role in society, that means that the people that know you now, the people that met you later on in your life, they know you how you are now. They don't associate with you as that target, as that pathetic case that people consider pathetic. But those others that associated themselves with you in such a context, they're still holding on to it. They don't want to face themselves. But now, if you would have survived and would have disappeared, you would have remained a nobody, nobody knows anything about you, they could be at ease. But now that you have influence in society, people are going to ask questions about you. But when they go into your past, they will encounter a lot of bad, a lot of dark stuff. Or they will encounter these, these empty spots, these blind spots in your past. And then people want to ask questions. And then, if they are going to dig for answers, they will encounter a lot of bad behavior towards you. Now, the people who used to be associated with you, if you were the target, then they must be aware of it. Then people come to ask them about it. And here's the thing, they're the perpetrators. They don't want to admit they're perpetrators, so they'll either pretend they were best friends with you, they were good with you all along, or they will make up stories about you to bring you down, or they will just blank out, avoid talking about you. Either way, they can't give consistent reports about you, because a consistent report would reveal their cruelty and their negativity. It would reveal their wickedness. They don't want to be exposed. And sometimes people don't want the past to be exposed because it would bring too much conflict in the present. So they will make up a myth about someone. The myth's based on facts, so it's not a made-up story. But in this myth, they fill in the gaps where the other bad facts ought to be. And that's how they prevent escalation in the present about things that happened in the past. So when you have someone with contradictory statements about his past or her past, it's time to pay attention. Too often we don't do that. Now look, let's say, I'm going to give a parable now, Jack. Jack moved to the state of Washington. And there he started a new life. He was an high school teacher. Everyone there knew him as a successful high school teacher. All his students got A's. One of the parents wanted to find out more about this teacher. So she looked him up on LinkedIn. She read that he worked in the state of Florida before. Then she thought, why would anyone leave the sunny Florida for the cold state of Washington? She couldn't get why the guy made that move. But then she found out that there was a gap in his resume. There were 2 years between his high school and college that was blank, and during his college years was 1 year that was blank also. So when she saw the gap in his resume, she asked, what did he do in those years? Now, she later found out that she began to call people his former employers, his former colleagues. And some people said, well, he was Jack was a great guy, they loved working with him. Others even denied they even knew Jack. So there were contradictory statements. So that parent let's say it's a she told her husband about it, and he said, there, we better not get involved with that teacher. I have the feeling that if we get involved with him, whatever is haunting him will haunt us. And the wife was thinking, dear, you can't be so antisocial. The husband said, we're not antisocial. We need to know what we get involved with. And the husband even said, haven't you noticed, dear, that the teacher never speaks about his past, what he did before. He never does. That's a red flag. And later, the couple found out that this man had people coming after his life. That was the reason he left the state of Florida and went all the way to the state of Washington. So, you get what I'm saying here? Someone had contradictory statements about his past. That's a red flag. Now, that guy, Jack, in the parable, didn't come to Washington to hurt anyone. He just came there to start a new life. But that doesn't cancel out that there were still people coming after him. And here's the thing, he was not delivered. He was not a believer, he did not agree with Christ. So he was open for any attack or trap of the enemy. So if you have someone with contradictory statements about their past, and they're not in agreement with Christ, that means whatever's haunting them can haunt you. Satan can use them as a bait to trick you into danger. Why do you think that if you apply for a job, people want your resume, people do a background check? Look, if you come from a controversial background and are people coming after you, then people that want to hire you at a job may reconsider hiring you if they know that about you. Why do you think that many employers go to witch doctors or they go to fortune tellers from whom they should accept at a job? What if you have a spirit of confusion or a spirit of poverty haunting you and you want to get a job in a financial institution? Well, it can be that that spirit of confusion and that spirit of poverty will haunt you on that job and it will cause dysfunction in the accounts of the customers. So the dysfunction in the financial institution will be the result of the unclean spirits that are haunting you. But let's say now you apply for a job at a financial institution or a financial corporation, and the employers, they go to fortune tellers, and the fortune teller tells you, don't accept this girl, or don't accept this woman. She has a spirit of confusion and a spirit of poverty haunting her. If she gets the job, there are going to be many angry customers and it will damage the company. You get what I'm saying here? They do background checks, also paranormal background checks on people they want to hire. That's how it goes in the world. That's how it goes behind the scenes. Not everywhere, but often that's the case. The reason I'm telling you this is because too often people don't see things coming that they should see coming. And if you see something coming, you can anticipate it. You can overrule it even before it happens. But most people never succeed in doing this because they don't look at things correctly. Okay? Now I'm telling you, if there are contradictory statements about someone's past, pay close attention. Pray about it. Look into the individual. Look beyond. Don't just say, well, the past is the past. You just have to forget about it. We're in the present. Don't follow that bull crap that common people are holding on to. Especially when you're dealing with common people, evaluate them carefully. Because common people go very far in denial and they enable a lot of violence. Well, that's it for now. I agree with Christ. Be at peace.